This time, it's about family times 10. Let's do a spoiler-free review of Fast X. Hello, movie friends. Welcome to Raiders of the Lost podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast. We just walked out of Fast X at IMAX headquarters. Thanks so much for the invite. Looked great as always. And I have some thoughts. Now, I'm going to say, I have not seen a Fast movie since Tokyo Drift. So
I haven't seen one since Fast 5.
I'm very much out of the loop, although I've seen some recaps. So I'm kind of aware of what's going on and who the characters are. But I was not totally sure everyone's plot in leading up to this film. What exactly was happening?
Yeah, that's what I think it matters with this kind of movie. You know, there are all kinds of movies that come out every year, and the Fast movies are literally just a combination of like it's Avengers meets James Bond meets like what the fuck meets like Cars. But it used to be about boosting cars, obviously, and doing things with cars. But it's just changed so much that you just have to, when you go into these movies, you have to set your expectations at the fact. There's like a specific level, like a shut your brain off kind of movie, and a great movie. But then with this, you just have to set your brain to Fast and Furious.
You said it to X.
Yeah, you said it no, you said it to family.
I also learned that you have to also accept that physics is not going to come into play at all.
Nope.
And apparently cars are heavier than two helicopters.
Yeah, it's the way it is. But this is a spoiler-free review, and we had a cool experience. We got to see the cars from the first couple of franchise movies.
That was awesome.
We saw the green Eclipse. We saw the Charger. Mm-hmm. We saw
Eva Mendes' car from the second one, the pink one.
Oh, yeah, the convertible.
Yeah.
So we saw some cool cars, which is awesome. It was called a tuner party, followed by the screening of the film. And, when it comes to a movie, this did everything that you expected it to do from a Fast and Furious movie. It showed, obviously, a lot of family. And we had a bunch of one-liners. We had a bunch of jokes. We had some crazy stunts. Like, stunt people are out of their goddamn minds. Plenty of CGI and green screen. But I really, movies like this make me appreciate stunt choreographers and stunt coordinators and stunt people so much.
I would say, most of the stunts were actually from the physical fights.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's plenty of car stunts, too.
Oh,
there's a ton of CGI, but there were a ton of car stunts that they actually did in camera, which I appreciate that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that half of them were, but also surprising amount.
Rita Moreno showed up. I didn't know she was going to be in this.
Spoilers, Anthony.
Oh, sorry.
Spoiler-free review.
She's in the trailer, I think.
She's the biggest star on the planet. You just spoiled her. You just spoiled it.
She's taking Dwayne Johnson's place as the muscle.
Yeah.
She still got it.
She's wearing more chains than Jesus.
But you know what? This movie, it was exactly what I was expecting. You know what I mean? And I see why people love them. I see why people really enjoy them. I can totally understand. I totally get behind it, and it is its own thing. There's really nothing like Fast movies. And also, this is going to be the first part in apparently a trilogy, but that will just be the beginning of the next phase of Fast movies. It's not going to be over after 12. I hope people know that.
And that'll lead to another clue.
And that will lead to another clue. Because there's just going to be, they're going to keep making them. Universal's just... it's their bread and butter right now.
They make a lot of money.
This and Jurassic World and whatever else they got. I mean, that's pretty much it for big movies. And Transformers is Paramount. Never mind. So Universal really relies on these films. I think it's going to have a very profitable opening weekend in the first few weeks. I don't expect this to make $1 billion because it is a jam-packed summer already. Guardians is still holding strong. And then at the end of May, we have a couple more releases, and then June's just going to be heavy hitters. So I expect this movie to pull in about $800 million. So I think it's going to be a massive hit, but I don't think it'll hit $1 billion. I also don't think Guardians will hit $1 billion. I think it's just too busy of a summer for movies to have that much holdover.
I mean, some others might hit that later in the year, but I don't know about $1 billion for Fast X. But this movie has maybe the biggest cast of the entire franchise. So many familiar faces. And we also have Jason Momoa in the lead role of the main antagonist in this film as...
I would call it a supporting role, not a lead role.
As Dante Reyes. And they kind of... like bring him back from the. I don't want to spoil who he is, but he's the main antagonist in this role. You can tell he probably had the most fun of anybody on this set. He just seemed like a kid playing a crazy role and having a terrific time.
I guarantee you, Momoa was just like, "Hey, I have a bunch of ideas of what I want to do," and they were like, "Yeah, whatever, man."
But pretty much everyone you expect to be back was back, and they set this up. And there's so many like teases to the trilogy that they're making with this film. But everyone got their turn on camera. Everyone got their turn to have like a cool scene, I would say, and have great moments. And
I would say some of them were shared.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, like everyone had their say. Like it was spread. What I'm saying is spread out well.
Yeah.
In terms of the screen time. Yeah, the screen time and the dialogue. Everyone got their fair share, which I thought it's tough to do with an ensemble. Like there's like 15 characters you got to feed lines in this movie, and at least maybe 20. But I think they did a good job spreading the script around.
They definitely did. That's a good point. And also, I just gotta say, like my favorite part was when Jason Statham finally showed up.
Dude, just give me 8 movies about him. Just give me a whole movie of him.
He's the guy. He's the dude. He's the guy.
He is. It's the best. He's the best part of the movie. For
it's
sure.
not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. But when
he's on the poster.
Yeah, when
he's on the poster.
Yeah, is he on the poster?
Yeah,
I think they were hiding him.
No, he's on the fucking poster.
I don't remember seeing him on the poster.
I made a graphic today. And he's
all right. You would know better. Yeah, you actually did. You made a wonderful graphic.
I'm looking at his beautiful bald
mug,
head right
here.
That
look at that mug.
Yeah.
But he was my favorite part of the movie. I mean, watching him in this movie made me be like, I want to watch another Transporter movie. Honestly, he's great.
He's the man.
He's just a star, bro. You know what I mean?
As soon as he starts throwing fists, I'm locked and loaded. This runtime's 2:20. But it is a long movie. They have to do a lot.
It's a long movie.
And basically the plot of the film is, without spoiling it, this guy, Dante, played by Jason Momoa, is coming after Dom and his family. He's going to do everything he can. Cliche villain.
Punishing Dom.
Punish Dom, make him suffer, separate him from his family and go after everybody.
Take everything he loves.
Yeah, basically. And you'll figure out when you see the movie why he's doing all this. His motivation's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
And there are some cool flashbacks to past films, which I think people who love the franchise will really appreciate.
Yeah, and Michelle Rodriguez had some great scenes as well. And Dom, he's a good character. I think I haven't seen any of these movies since the last time I saw him in a Fast movie was the first one.
Dom?
Yeah, because
because you haven't. Well, I mean, you've seen
Too Fast and Too Furious.
So yes, for sitting through the movie.
Yeah,
but you've seen the posters.
I've seen posters. I've seen the posters.
Vin Diesel still acts as the character. Right?
Yeah, I know. I've seen all the trailers, but I like Dom. I think he's a cool dude. And also, it's like he lives in my old neighborhood in L.A. It's like the street he lives on is the street I used to live on.
I love how he's they're like these world class and global agents, but they still just live in this home in Echo Park with no Heights, security. Yeah. Don't you worry about enemies?
Well, I mean, movie has to happen, bro.
Plot, bro.
But I do love seeing my old neighborhood on such a big scale of a movie because it's just like a middle class neighborhood. It's nothing special, but it's famous for LA though. And
it felt like an advertisement for LA a bit. And a travel agency. Well, they're globetrotting.
These movies I've seen, they're basically music videos / car commercials. That's pretty much what they are. Music videos, car commercials combined with some story in between.
But if you love the Fast franchise, it's got everything you want from a Fast movie. These movies aren't for everybody, but they make a boatload of money. And they have basically a cult following, and people are diehard Fast fans. They love going to them. They love the new ones that come out every year. So if you're one of those people, you're gonna absolutely probably love this movie, and you're gonna be all in on all the crazy stunts and all the ridiculous things that they do with cars in this movie.
Fucking ridiculous.
Like the car with Dom in the car.
It's absurd.
If he's in the car, he can literally do anything.
Yeah.
He can rob. He can hack a computer with his car. He can type on a keyboard with the tires and hack the CIA.
He could stop a nuke with his car.
He could.
he would just drive right into it.
He does crazy things with his car in this movie, especially. And there's quite a bit of this movie was shot in Rome. Plenty of it was CGI, but it was really cool to see some really great practical locations shot in that beautiful city, the Eternal City, which was awesome.
Yeah, the Spanish Steps come into play.
Lots of the Colosseum was in there, the Pantheon, the Vatican was in there, and just
also Brazil, Portugal,
Rio de Janeiro. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
London. So
London.
London. You sound like you're from London. It was just, basically a Bond movie with cars.
It was. They even had some Bond strings in there too, with the music.
I
there
heard
were
that
a few
too.
Bond strings.
I heard that too.
They did half the theme a couple of times. They were like leading into it, and then they ended up didn't do all the way.
Leading up to this movie and this film screening, I was just on Twitter, and there's been a trend going around like, what was the craziest thing like that made you like, I'm done with this movie from a Fast and Furious movie. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe in reality anymore. And so people are just quote tweeting that with crazy GIFs and videos of the craziest car stunts that happened that are so unrealistic that it's just like, it's ridiculous. And so I watched a bunch of those. And as I was watching these stunts in the new movie of Fast X and these things that in my brain, I'm like, this is the craziest, dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. How did this movie get made? At the same time, I was like, man, I kind of respect the shit out of these filmmakers to just be like, fuck what anyone else thinks. And we're going to make a scene of an action sequence with a car. We're going to use some Hot Wheels as like, it's like when you're a kid and you're like, bah! You're like taking a Hot Wheel, and you're like riding on the wall, and like you're going up ramps and just like you're throwing the Hot Wheel off the wall. It's the same fucking thing, but they made a movie out of it. So I respect that. This filmmakers are just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
Also, Hot Wheels got some action in this movie.
That's what I mean, yeah.
They got some action.
They got a piece of that pie.
There's quite a lot of product placement in the movie. I was surprised.
Ruffles had their share.
Yeah, Stella Artois. There was a lot of product placement. I was like, damn, they're really making that cheddar, man.
Make that money. There was some really solid cameos. There was a cameo that like it's the cameo that's in every movie now.
Yeah, and half the theater was like, no. Half the theater was like, yay. So it was pretty dividing.
He's in everything.
It was a polarizing cameo.
So many companies give this guy money.
I wasn't happy to see him. I was just like, really, guys, come on.
But what I'm saying is like, at a point where you're watching this movie, I was just like, fuck it. Like, they're just doing what they're doing because they made a crazy movie.
Yeah,
there's a place for it. And I mean,
it's not a Christopher. They're not Christopher Nolan action sequences. You know what I mean?
You're not seeing Inception. It's the 10th movie of the franchise.
They're just like it's just.
And Tom Cruise isn't in it.
Gravity doesn't come into play. Physics doesn't come into play. You know, suspension of disbelief. Just get rid. It's just like accept it. Yeah.
Just strap in.
Don't question it.
Strap in and hit the NOS, bro. Turn that NOS tank up.
I will say. Well, actually, this is I guess it's kind of a spoiler.
Don't spoil it.
It wasn't. I would just say it wasn't as cool as I was hoping it would be. It wasn't like it didn't have like that
spoiler,
that cool factor that the old movies had. You know what I mean?
It was very nostalgia driven.
Yeah,
I think they hit the nostalgia a little too hard. Like every scene was like about nostalgia. It's like ease off the nostalgia, NOS.
Yeah, but I would just say. Yeah, well, didn't have the cool factor that I remember from the old movies, like them just being like fucking awesome, like very cool movies.
Badasses.
Yeah, it was just like a little too much.
They'll never get there.
Yeah,
again.
it's just always dialed to 11, and they can't ever put it down to below 11.
Once you start going in that direction, you can't go back. You can't make like a realistic movie. Like you just have to.
Well, not even realistic, but like I don't know.
I mean, Tyrese went to space.
Yeah. Like did he in one of?
Yeah, one of them. But it's a movie for sure. And if you love,
I think fans will really enjoy it.
That's what you want.
Enjoy it.
It's got everything you want if you're a fan of Fast franchise. But
I can't say that like I loved it. Obviously, but it was, it was what I was expecting when I walked into it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot, not at things that were supposed to be funny.
We were laughing at the movie.
I was laughing my butt off at some of the lines, some of the dialogue being delivered by Oscar-winning actors and actresses, and I'm just like, they are working their butts off to say that shit.
They're getting that. They are earning that paycheck.
Woo! Brie Larson is she's acting her way through those lines. Charlize is. This movie made me realize, I already knew that she was one of the best actors alive, but like this movie made me realize that she's such a front runner with working with crap dialogue that she makes you like really
she earns her paycheck.
Oh my god,
she earns it.
Her performance with this dialogue, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just like, it felt like they learned the lines that morning. But Charlize, I was like, oh man, oh shit, I'm in.
Oscar winner, man.
I'm in this ridiculous scene right now.
Oscar winner. But I will say there was about 50% of the dialogue was fucking ridiculous.
Woo! Yeah,
it was so funny.
It's pretty funny.
There were like maybe 20 times where we giggled looking at each other, just like, did they really just say that?
It was a good time when you that was the point. Like
I had a couple glasses of wine beforehand.
Yeah.
I was
some
toasty.
Cool cars and
yeah, it was really cool to see the cars in person. You also got filmed in a video I saw.
Yeah,
those guys with the Ronins.
Guys were filming everybody. They're like, stick your head in the Charger. I'm like, okay. They're like, act crazy. I'm like, oh, I'm acting crazy in the Charger.
Did you really? I didn't see that part.
They're like, act mind blown. I'm like, oh my God. Ah. They're like, now look at the camera. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the camera.
All you need is a camera. James will do anything you say.
I was owning it, dude. I love attention.
I was like, I'm staying back here.
You know I love being on camera.
There was that group of young people. They were like dry humping the cars in the air.
That was kind of weird.
It was very odd.
There were some weird things going on with the cars.
Very odd.
And if I was in charge of those Universal lot cars, I'd be like, you guys need to get your hands off the Charger right now.
There was one guy who was pretending to lift it up. I was like, can he touch it?
I mean, he's kind of pulling a Dom Toretto, you know. It was his moment.
It was.
He's been waiting.
He although he did milk that. He did it for about 30 seconds. He was
flexing hard,
yeah,
dude. He was really flexing.
I think he popped an artery.
Possibly. He flexed almost as much as Vin Diesel as Dom Toretto in Fast X.
Vin Diesel just constantly has his fists just grizzled.
I get it. He's standing next to John Cena's massive.
Yes.
And then the guy who plays Jack Reacher's in this movie too.
He's a tank.
That guy is freaking 6'6", 280 probably. What a monster. So like
he made Vin look skinny.
Vin is just like, I love you, son. Give me a hug, family.
Can you get Jack Reacher more in the background?
Yeah.
Get him further away from camera.
It's too big.
Back him up.
It's too
Back
big.
him up. But Vin looks great for his age.
Yeah,
Not saying he doesn't look great.
He's jacked, but like
he looks fantastic.
He's not Jack Reacher jacked.
That dude is whatever the guy's name is. He's an animal.
I don't know what he got fed as a child.
This movie's just muscles and babes driving cars.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the movie.
If you're an actress, you want to get cast in Fast Furious movies, you just gotta be hot as fuck. I'm sorry, that's the requirement.
They're also very talented.
They're very talented.
Very talented.
They're Oscar winners.
Yeah.
They're also hot.
They are also. Everybody in this movie is hot.
I saw Brie Larson on that red carpet in Rome. Like I was like, whew.
Yeah, Brie Larson. I changed my mind about her when I saw her in that black dress. I was like, okay. I was like, oh.
All right, Brie.
Honestly, yeah. The other day I saw her. I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I am in love with Brie Larson.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I think every guy was like, that's right. I forgot I was in love with Brie Larson. All right, that wraps our spoiler-free review of Fast X. If you want to have a fun time at a cheesy movie that harkens back to the 90s classics that we loved growing up.
Get a little toasty beforehand.
It's just a silly movie. It's fun. They're all over the place. Crazy, ridiculous dialogue.
The story makes no sense, and it's just, oh my God.
If you saw the trailer, that's the movie.
That's pretty much it.
That's what you're in for. Just buckle up. Hit that nos. And let's go. Family.
Family.
All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning into this spoiler-free review of Fast X.
See you next time.
Raiders of the Lost Podcast is a mirror image production. Sound mixing done by Jacob Kossler. Opening music by Chase Jackson.